This is the video for the Quiz Doctor. Let me remind you how this works. You will watch this video and fix your mistakes on your quiz as you watch. And if you weren't satisfied with your score on the first quiz, once you're ready to take the retake, you feel like you know what you're doing, go ahead and go on Schoology and take the retake quiz. Remember that if you show your work on a separate piece of paper, send me those pictures because I can give you partial points for things that you have done correctly. Okay, so let's jump in with number 1. Draw the front, side, and top views of the stack of cubes. How many total cubes are in each stack? So this question just wants you to think about when you have three-dimensional objects, what it looks like from all the views. So if you were just looking at the front of this and you couldn't see any other piece, you would see this one that's alone, next to 2, and then next to 3. Okay, so that would just be the front flat view. Then if you were to look at it from the side, so say you come over here and you're just looking at it right here, or even from this side if you're looking at it, you would see 3 tall cubes stacked on top of each other like this. And then if you look at it from the top, like from a bird's eye view, you would see 3 across horizontally instead of vertically. So those should be your views of the cubes, and then total cubes, you just count those up. There are 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay, so that's what that question is asking you to do. Okay, question number 2 says draw the net, then find the surface area of the prism. Now remember, I am more concerned about finding the surface area. If you didn't draw the net, that's okay with me, but if drawing the net helps you, then do it. So to draw this net, I would first start off by drawing this lateral face that's in front. So it's 4 by 5. Okay, that's my first one. And then connected to it, oh, you can't see that. Connected to it on the left and right sides, you have this skinny rectangle, and it's 4, because, oh, it's 5. 5 by 1. Because remember, all of the lines that run like this in this rectangular prism are going to be 5 because this says 5. And then on the other hand, all of the ones that run this way are going to be 4s. Okay, so we've got a skinny 4 by 1 connected right here and to the top. Okay. And then last, we've got this same exact front lateral face on the back side. So you're going to draw another 4 by 5 rectangle for the back lateral face. So your net would look something like this. Remember, it might not be exactly like mine, and that's okay. Just make sure you have all 6 of these faces somewhere on your net. Okay, so now what you do to find the surface area is you find the area of each face, and then you're going to add them together. So we've got these 2 right here, which are 5 by 1 rectangles. And remember, for the area of a rectangle, you want to do length times width. So 5 times 1, which equals 5. And because there are 2 of those, we're going to do 5 times 2, which equals 10. Okay, now we've got, let's do our 4 by 5 rectangles that are the front and back. Okay, so same formula. We're going to do area equals length times width. So you're going to do 4 times 5, which equals 20. There are 2 of those, so 20 times 2 equals 40. Okay, and last we have the top and the bottom, or the base of our rectangular prism, and it's 4 by 1. So you've got 4 times 1, which equals 4. There are 2 of those also, so 4 times 2 equals 8. Now we're going to add all of these together. So we've got 10 plus 40 is 50, and 50 plus 8 is 58, and our units are centimeters squared. So make sure that if you do this work on a separate piece of paper like I am, that you take a picture and send it to me so that if you did part of this right, I could give you part of the points on your quiz, okay? All right, question number 3 is the same. Draw the net, then find the surface area of the prism. So let me get my paper. Okay, so with this net, I'm going to start with the top rectangle right here that I see, and it's 9 by 6. Okay, so next to it, the one that's in front this time, it's going to be 9 by 2. Okay, and then remember, if I have on top the 9 by 6, I'm also going to have that same thing on the bottom. Okay, so those would be my lateral faces, the ones that wrap around all the way. Then I've got the bases, the top and the bottom, and those are 6 by 2. So I'm going to attach those. I could do it to either one of these 6 rectangles. I'm going to do this one. But it is also a 6 by 2 on both sides. Okay, so it's going to be the same as question number 2. We're going to do all of these as rectangles. So let's start with these 9 by 2s right here. Okay, so we've got 9 times 2, which equals 18. Let me go this way. All right, and then we've got our 9 by 6s. So 9 times 6, and you can use a calculator if you need to. 9 times 6 equals 54. And 54 times 2, oh guys, I forgot to times the first one by 2. This is why you should always write it down and show your work. 18 times 2 is 36. And then 54 times 2 equals 108. Okay, and then we've got our last 2, which are 6 by 2 rectangles. So 6 times 2, which equals 12. And there are 2 of those. So 12 times 2 equals 24. All right, then we add all of these together. So we've got 36 and 24. That's going to make 60. And then we have 60 plus 108, which is 168 meters squared. Okay, so those are how you do rectangular prisms. On this next one, we're going to do a pyramid. The next 2 are going to be pyramids. So pyramids are my favorite nets to draw because you draw the base first and then you just connect triangles to each side of your square. So this base is a 6 by 6 square. Start with that base. Okay, and then off of each line of the square, you're just going to draw a triangle. And the height of our triangles in these ones is 9. Okay, so let's find the area of the base first. The base is a square, so you're going to do side squared or length times width, it doesn't matter. So 6 times 6, which equals 36. Okay, now we're going to do each of our lateral faces, which are all triangles and they're all the same. Now let's go back to when we learned area. Remember, for area of a triangle, that's going to be base times height divided by 2. So we've got 6 times 9, which is 54, and then 54 divided by 2, which equals 27. My brain is not wanting to work. It's because you're all gone and it's really weird here. 54 divided by 2 is 27. Now, how many of those triangles do we have? For lateral faces, we have 1, 2, 3, 4. So we're going to times 27 by 4, which is going to give me 108. And then I add 108 plus 36, which equals 144 feet this time, squared. Okay. Next up, we've got another pyramid. Solve it the same way. It's even a square pyramid. We should have thrown a triangular pyramid at you, but you lucked out. It's just the same as number 4. So, start with your square base. This time it's 5 by 5. And then draw your triangle connected to each side. And on this one, your height of your triangle is 8. Okay, so we have our center, which is going to be 5 times 5. 5 times 5 equals 25. There's only one. Now we've got 4 triangles that are exactly the same. And these, the base is 5, and the height is 8. So you've got 5 times 8. Some of you probably missed this question because you forgot triangles have to be cut in half. So you're going to do 5 times 8, which is 40, and then you've got to cut 40 in half. So what's 40 divided by 2? 20. Now how many triangles do we have? We have 4 of them, so you're going to times 20 by 4, which equals 80. And then you just add 80 and 25 together, which equals 105 feet squared. Okay, so those were our pyramids. And then last up we have volume. Now volume, we didn't actually talk much about in class. You've had to do this one on your own at home. Luckily, it is not too difficult. You just follow the formula. Volume equals length times width times height. Okay, so that just means you're going to times these 3 numbers together. So 3 times 2 times 2.5. You can just plug it right into your calculator. And you get 15 meters cubed this time, because volume is cubes. Like how many cubes can you fit inside that cube? Okay, so that is volume, and the bonus question also has to do with volume. So this says, write and solve an equation to find the missing dimension of the prism. So the volume equals 231 inches cubed. It gives you the length and the width, but it doesn't give you the height. So you're going to fill in the formula. Volume equals length times width times height, and plug in what you know. You know that volume equals 231, your length equals 3, your width equals 7, and you don't know your height. That's what we're solving for. We need to know the height. And remember, when you solve an equation, you're trying to get h all by itself. Okay, so first we're going to do any simplifying we can. We know 3 times 7 is 21. So I'm going to rewrite this as 21h. Okay, now remember from solving equations, when you have a number next to a variable like this, that means they are multiplying each other. To get rid of something, you have to do the opposite. So the opposite of multiplying is going to be dividing. You're going to divide by 21 on both sides, because 21 divided by 21 becomes 1. So now we have 1h. H is alone, which is our goal. We want h all by itself. Okay, so I'm just going to grab my calculator and I'm going to solve this. 231 divided by 21, which equals 11. So I got my height equals 11. Let's plug it back in and see if that's true. I should be able to do 3 times 7 times 11 and get 231. That's the cool thing about equations. You can always check to see if you got your answer correct. So 3 times 7 times 11 equals 231. So we know we got it correct. You should get that bonus question right for sure on the retake, okay? So if you weren't happy with your score, go ahead and log into Schoology and try again. We'll see you next time, guys.